Drive with Bill Cameron on ESPN 106.7 and online at ESPNAU.com.
We're going to go ahead and bring him on the air with us. We're very pleased to be joined by Coach Pat Dye here, as we will each Wednesday here on The Drive. Coach, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you. I stay busy all day long, so I've had a bunch of appointments today and got a lot done, and I got one when I leave here. So,
we appreciate you squeezing us.
No, I wouldn't call it squeezing because this has got a priority.
Well,
And,
well,
I'm squeezing the other one in.
That's great. Well, we want to remind everybody that coming up following The Drive, it's the Pat Dye Show right here on ESPN 106.7.
What time is that? 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Okay. We had a good guest on.
Who you got on this week?
Gary, ChickfilA guy, the Peach Bowl.
Oh yeah,
Hall of Fame, and dang, I can't call his last name.
I know, I can see him. I've met him so many times. We had him on.
He is a very important guy to college football.
Oh,
and
no doubt.
ChickfilA has done wonders for college football, but he's. Yeah, they got
Stoken, isn't that it?
Yeah, Stoken.
Yeah,
that's it. You got it.
Yeah, I've talked to him quite a few times. It was bothering me that I couldn't think of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, what ChickfilA has done now with their preseason, with their opening season game, and then now the ChickfilA Bowl has become one of the big bowls as far as the playoffs
I think they got a championship game next year.
They got a semifinal this year. Right.
And then the next year the national championship game.
That's right.
And so it's a big deal in college football, and we talked about all that, Coach. And he's very involved with the College Football Hall of Fame, and that's in Atlanta, headquarters in Atlanta too. And I gotta get over there and look at that. I mean, they said this is they've done a tremendous job with all of the things surrounding the inductees, and just a fun trip for your family to go through it and simulate football games and all of the things that go along with college football.
So, of course, that's coming up following the show. And the other thing that we had talked a little bit about, but let folks know about the show that you and Coach Stallings are putting together as well.
Right. We did it last year, and we're across the state in Dothan, Mobile, Montgomery, Auburn, Opelika, Huntsville, Florence, and which goes into Birmingham, and Tuscaloosa. So Coach Stallings is going to be talking to the Auburn folks on the radio. And
yeah, that's right. He's going to be on with us on Thursday.
But it's Coach Stallings is a good friend because we're both on the board of Great Southern Wood, and he's a good guy and stands for the right things, even though he did coach at Alabama.
Well, nobody's perfect.
Yes,
nobody's perfect. That's right.
So he'll be following you here on the drive. But
I tell you, oddly enough, it's hard for us to believe if you're Auburn, but these radio shows are really a little easier to sell when you sell in Auburn and Alabama.
Yeah. I understand.
It don't take Alabama guy to screw up an Auburn deal if you're not on the same side.
Oh yeah, and vice versa. But didn't you follow? You came in on staff in Alabama when Coach Stallings left, right?
Yes, I did, and he was the assistant head coach, defensive coordinator, coach of linebackers, wrote Coach Bryant's first book, and he took the head coaching job at Texas A&M, and he did this back, I don't know, January, February, sometime back earlier, and I knew they had a vacancy on the staff, and I wrote Coach Brown a 3-paragraph. I got the letter somewhere because they kept a copy of it, and they gave me one, 8 or 10 years ago.
Evidence?
Yeah, just a handwritten letter applying for the job, and I got a letter right back from Coach Bryant, and of course I was in the service at the time, and I got that in June, and I got a letter right back from him 2 days. I got a letter. He said, "Dear Pat, I haven't decided what type coach I'm going to hire, but if I decide to hire a young, inexperienced coach, I'll give you consideration." I said, "Well, that's a nice way for him to say no." And so I didn't think anything about it. I got out of the services on the 1st of June and went home to where I lived in Blythe, Georgia, on the farm, and had wife and kids there, and I was still playing football in Canada and couldn't get out of my contract. I had half a dozen teams in the States that wanted me to get out of my contract, but I couldn't get out of it. So I was going back to just see what happened in the Canadian Football League. And I came in at noon, and my mother said, Pat's Coach Bryant called and wanted to know if you're still interested in the job at Alabama.
Wow.
And if you are, give him a call. So I went in there and called him, and he said, I told him, I said, yeah. I said, Coach, I'm headed back to Canada, and but if I had a chance to get into coaching at Alabama and work for you, I would give up to playing, and because I'm gonna coach. And he said, well, I can see you Sunday morning or Monday morning. And I had to get my wife and children situated, and I said, it'd be easier for me Monday morning. So I went over Monday morning and interviewed, and I told him in the interview, I said, Coach, I don't know if I can coach or not. I said, I never walked on the field as a football coach. And I said, the only thing I know about coaching is what I learned playing. He said, well, if we hire you, we just let you watch your linebackers and recruit over in Georgia. So I watched the linebackers over there for 9 years. But it was a great way to start as a young coach, and I learned a lot. I didn't learn how to win at Alabama. I don't want the Alabama folks or the Auburn folks, either one. So you went to Alabama and learned how to win under Coach Brown. I knew how to win. We had won the state championship in high school. We won the conference championship when I was playing at Georgia. We won the service championship when I was playing in the service, and so I knew how to win. And I guess Coach Bryant knew that. And I had met Coach Bryant in Washington D.C. at a touchdown club. He was there for Alabama, being named the #1 team in the nation in 1964.
Right.
The year that Texas beat them in the Orange Bowl. And I was getting an award for being named the outstanding player in service football. It was a big deal in Washington D.C. I mean, Staubach was getting an award for the top college player, and Butkus was there, and Lenny Moore was professional athlete.
I've heard those names.
Precision was getting Coach of the Year award from Notre Dame. I mean, it was a nice affair, and I got a chance to visit with Coach Brown a little bit up there. But that's the only time I really had ever done that. But I had played against him for 3 years. Mm-hmm. So, he offered me the job, and I made $6,000 a year. And he knew I couldn't live on $6,000 a year with a wife and 2 children. I mean, make a thief out of you. That was, but the thing about it, I tell people, Coach Bryant never fired a coach. I don't ever remember him firing a coach. He just starved them out.
So it's their choice. That's right.
So I stayed there for 9 years. When I went there, I didn't have any aspirations of being a head football. I was young and full of energy, and I wanted to be the best linebacker coach in the country. That was my ambition. And I studied I got to be good friends with Bill Parcells, and I did my research and found all of the best linebackers. Lon Horseman was at Tennessee, had great linebackers at Tennessee at the time, and I studied them, but I don't know that I got to be the best linebacker coach in the country, but I was pretty good. Then you get there to that point, and I was 34 years old. I said, if I'm going to ever be a head football coach, I got to leave here. I said, Coach Bryant's got too many assistant coaches that played for him, too many coaches that are already out there in the profession. I said, I ain't going to never get a job, from here. So I went to East Carolina, and it was a strange thing. And we were playing, it was 73 then, we were playing Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl for the national championship. Mm-hmm. We were ranked #1, they were #2, but they beat us. And so I went to East Carolina. Going through the search, I got in there and looked around the table and trying to size up who I was going to have to convince to give me the job. And this guy owned Pepsi Cola company. This guy right here owned the furniture company. This guy right here was the president of the bank downtown. This one out over here had some kind of other sales deal. Not one of them had a clue what a football coach was. They had no idea. And after about 30, 40 minutes, I said, wait, the only one who knew what a football coach was the old German athletic director, Stasovich. And he was old school, and I said, wait a minute. I said, y'all got me up here to hire me or to interview me to be the head football coach at East Carolina. And I said, I never have been a head football coach. And you don't have any idea whether I can be a good head football coach or not. Because I don't either. I said, but if y'all got guts enough to hire me, I got guts enough to come, and we'll find out. Well, and the rest of it's history.
That's right.
But it took me about a year and a half to figure out that I could make a difference. And then, I struggled, and I knew we were working hard and doing a lot of the right stuff, but we started off 2-3 in '75, and then we got it turned around and won 16 straight. But in the process, we beat North Carolina and Virginia and North Carolina State and Wake Forest and Duke and a lot of the teams in the ACC. And that would be like Troy beating Alabama and Tennessee and, over here, and so it was a big deal to them. And I had a great 6 years at East Carolina and loved the city and loved the school, and will always be indebted to them for giving me the opportunity to be a head football coach. And at the end, it wasn't all that pleasant, but I didn't necessarily want to leave, but I had my athletic director misled me, or you could say he lied to me, or whatever you want to call it. But
however nice you want to make it.
Yeah, well, however you want to word it. But and I thought he had, but I didn't want to confront him with it until the season was over in 1979. And but when I found out what I thought was true, then I said, look, call a press conference. I'm going to resign, and I can stay here and get you fired and the president fired, but to split up the East Carolina family, and I don't want to do that. I love East Carolina. The best thing for me to do is just find a job. And that's what I did. And I didn't intend to go to Wyoming and stay 1 year, but that's the way it happened. And it was a pretty fast moving 2 years there, moving from North Carolina to Wyoming back to Auburn. And I learned some great lessons in the process. And one of them was that when I got involved with the Auburn job, I had never signed a contract at Wyoming. They were paying me, but I never had signed a contract. And I didn't even realize it, because I was getting paid. But I came back from my second visit at Auburn, and my athletic director picked me up at the airport and said, "What are you going to do?" I said, "What do you mean, what am I going to do?" He said, "Are you going to Auburn?" I said, "I don't know if I'm going to Auburn or not. They hadn't offered me the job." He said, "Well, you got to make a decision. If you stay here, we're going to make you sign a contract and hold you to it. Or you can resign, or we're going to fire you." I said, "Take me to the house." So I went to the house, and I got one of those yellow legal pads, and I sat down there, and I just wrote in the best interest of the University of Wyoming football program and my coaching career. I hereby resign as the head football coach at Wyoming, and took it down the street to the president, and the athletic director was down the street. And I liked both of them. They were good people. Their board had forced them to make the choice, and we hugged and cried and kissed and had a drink, and I walked out.
Not knowing if you had a job or not.
No, didn't have. I knew I didn't have one. And so the lesson that I learned was that before the 4th of July, the athletic director that was going to make me sign the contract was the athletic director at SMU. And the president that was going to make me sign the contract, this is before the 4th of July now, he was the president at Ohio State University. Now, if I'd allowed them to make me sign that contract and stay at Wyoming, I would have had to build that program back because we had the first winning season the year that I coached here. They'd had in 8 years,
Right.
and but I would have had to build that program with an athletic director that had no loyalty to me and a president that I didn't know anything about, and so it turned out to be the greatest day of my life when Auburn offered me the job.
Yeah, I'd say things worked out pretty well. Coach, I know you've got to run here in a few minutes. Want to get some thoughts from you on the opener on Saturday night.
I've loved opening with Clemson since the ending of last year and beginning of this year. The only other team I'd rather play in Clemson would be Alabama. Because if you're going to be good, you got to play good people.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to be good at Auburn. And the only way you can find out if you're any good or not is play the best people. And I like our chances against Clemson. I like this football team. I like the coaching staff. There's good body language around the team and the players and the coaches, and it just makes you feel good to go over there and watch practice because the kids are having fun. They're working, but they're having fun. They're helping each other, and it's just it's an atmosphere that is conducive to winning. And we got a worthy opponent in Clemson, that's for sure. They got probably the best quarterback in the country, and they got a great set of skilled people, receivers and running back. And when you get past that, I would say that Auburn is just as good as they are, or maybe better in some areas. And we'll have to see how we match up with them. Our defense is the strongest part of our team. Their offense is the strongest part of that team. And our offense, is an unknown because last year, we struggled offensively. I think we're going to be a lot better. And
well, it starts up front. I would think the offensive line is something they can build on.
Well, I think I like the offensive line. The most valuable player we got on our football team right now is Chandler Cox. And you think, well, who in the world is Chandler Cox is our H-back, but he's a great leader. He's a full-grown man, plays like a man, acts like a man, and leads like a man. And Petway, the other H-back from last year, is playing tailback. Mm-hmm. I've never seen an Auburn team with two backs as physical as those two are on the same team. Kerryon Johnson is a big play threat playing running back, and he'll have Pet will be alternating and playing some with him, and then after that you got the freshmen and two freshmen. You got
Miller's the bigger one than Martin.
Miller, yeah, and both of them. Miller is he's in the Petway mold, and Martin,
yes sir,
is cute.
I remember you doing that before. Now, talking about some receivers
when I say
cute,
cute,
kickers being
when
cute.
I say cute, he weighs about 170. I think he weighs. He said I think he told me he weighed 178, which is cute size, and but he is fast and quick, and smile on his face, and is unafraid. And he can't make many. He can't push the pile very good, but he'll hit up in there as hard as 178 pounds will hit up in there. And if there's a crack there and he gets in it, he can stretch the field in a hurry. And so I like them. And then I like Coach Malzahn's decision with the quarterbacks. He knows better than anybody who would have been the right choice. Mm-hmm. I think all the quarterbacks are better than they were in the spring, and practice is a lot smoother. They should be. They're a year older, and they've gone through all of the bad stuff, and and Jeremy Johnson is better, and I think that Franklin's going to have a place on the team. How far he progresses, as a complete, quarterback, we'll have to wait and see. But he's got a skill set that nobody else in the country's got a quarterback. Some might be close, but they, and I don't know of another quarterback in the country that runs 5.42 40.
Yeah.
And I like it. The wide receivers, the ones that are starting and the ones with experience a little, but they got a class of freshmen that are men now. I'm talking about they all 6'2", 6'3", 215, 218, 220, and it's just they just on the clock because they going. I don't know how long it'll take them to be contributors and players, but they are destined to be impact players. All four of them. Now Stove is a little smaller than the other three, but the other three, I don't. I mean, they all look like Dak Williams.
Well, I remember you saying to Marquise McLean, asking him if he'd ever played running back.
Well, that's right. He looks like a running back. He's 215, 6'2", 215. I asked him how fast he was. He said he ran 4.4. I said, that's good enough to play running back. So
you've seen a couple of those, Coach. I know you've got to run. You said you had to get somewhere. It is a pleasure. It's great to have you with us. It's
I thought we were going to take a call. You got a call today?
But we got
no calls.
Yeah, I mean
we got Yellowhammer. He's been holding for a long time.
Yellowhammer.
All right, Yellowhammer, go ahead.
Hey everybody, and hello, Coach Dye. It's great to talk to you, sir.
Very good.
Well, my question is a year or more so ago, I was listening to your show, and you talked about a great Auburn defensive coordinator who had passed away, Hal Herring. I knew him because I was friends with his son, and I knew he was good, but you recited some statistics that struck me as remarkable. It was like a 3-year period, maybe 56, 7, 8, or it was 7, 8, 9. The Auburn defense, and you said it was maybe the greatest Auburn defense ever, held the opponents to like under a 7 a game or something.
What, 21 points?
They what?
21 points.
In a season, yeah.
Yeah.
For the whole period?
Hey, look, they had 7 shutouts. I saw that team play. See, my brother was playing at Georgia, which I later played there, but I saw him play Auburn and Georgia and Auburn play in Columbus in 1957. And Lloyd Nix threw a jump pass to Red Phillips for a touchdown and missed the extra point. And then the defense stopped Georgia 2 or 3 times inside the 10-yard line and beat Georgia 6-0. The year they won the national championship. And that team has got great history. And but now the thing that people don't realize is that if Georgia Tech doesn't tie Auburn in 58, they win 2 national championships in a row. Mm-hmm. They tied 3-3 or 7-7.
Bobby Dodd.
Was it 7-7 or 3-3?
I think it was 7-up.
7-7. And in 58, they win 2 national championships. And listen, let me tell you the worst part about that. I played against those guys, and I knew how good they were, and they I never will forget Coach Dupree, one of our coaches at Georgia. He played at Auburn, but he was from Sylvester, Georgia. But back then, those coaches swapped back and forth, and we had Auburn coaches, and they had Georgia coaches over here, and vice versa. And Coach Dupree got up and gave a scouting report, and he went down to 7 people on the line from end to end, and he go over the weight, and he's an All-American. He named all 7 of them were All-Americans across the front, because we played both ways back then, and he said there ain't no way to beat them. I said, and I'm glad we didn't listen to him, and but it was a great football game, and wasn't but it was really 1 touchdown scored in the game, because the way the scoring went in the game, our up backed into our punter and blocked the field goal. I might have got knocked back into the punter, but Auburn got it on 2-yard line and scored. And Charlie Britt, our safety, ran a punt back 39 yards for a touchdown. And Auburn kicked 2 field goals. And here's what quarterbacks can do for you.
Yeah, you had a fairly mobile quarterback.
Well, the quarterbacks on both sides contributed to us winning the game. Brian Harvard fumbled the ball on a naked reverse, and we recovered it. And Francis Tarkenton threw a 14-yard touchdown pass on 4th down to win it at the end with 30 seconds to go in the game or whatever. And but that's how critical quarterbacks are. One of them made a mistake, and one of them made a play. And the guy that made the play just happened to be on our side. But it was a defensive game. The next year we come over here and play. See, I played in the last game in Columbus, the first one in Athens, and the first one in Auburn. The first one in Auburn was 1960, and Ed Dowse kicked 3 field goals, and Durwood Pennington for us kicked 2, and they beat us 9-6. No touchdown scored. High potent offenses.
The great.
Hey, listen, we wouldn't sell many tickets today, I promise you. Football's never been any better, and I don't go back, and football has never been any better than it is today. Back, when we played in slow motion compared to what they're doing out there today.
Yeah, the rules have changed, the game's changed, but it's definitely much more high powered. Coach, again, we really appreciate you joining us. Looking forward to doing this every week, and folks will know they can call.
Yeah, absolutely. And now I'll come by the office and do this as much as I can, but I can't always.
Oh, we understand.
So we may have to do some of it on the telephone, but but I'm excited about being on the show, and y'all do a great job, and we'll have a lot of fun with it.